Hi, this is Brian Fogarty, and this is a video for Chapter 7 of the book Quantitative Social Science Data with our second edition. So in this video what we're going to do is we are going to look at measures of central tendency. So these are measures that give us information about what the typical case looks like for a variable. There are a bunch of them out there. The ones we are going to look at are the mode, median, and mean. Mean, otherwise known as average. All right, so let's start with the mode. I'm going to put a little subheader here with a double there. Mode. All right. So the mode is it's the value of a variable that occurs most frequently. It's often not very informative. It doesn't really tell us that much. If we have a nominal of a variable, we can only look at the mode. That will become clearer as we progress here. So we've actually looked at this, but let's do it again. Let's look at the mode for female life expectancy using the data from the previous video. So life expectancy, and then, so we're using the freq function. Female, and we're using the rounded version. All right, so for this moment we don't want the bar plot that automatically is generated, so let's highlight that. Okay, so again what we're looking for is what value or what category, whatever, of a variable occurs most frequently. So we see here that 8 right, or 85%. So the mode for female life expectancy is 82, right? Or you could say the modal category for female life expectancy is 82. Now, the other way that's commonly done to find the mode is we can look at the bar plot. So let's just remove that, or you could just switch it to true. That also works. Highlight that. This is the first time we're looking at this stuff. And so it's in here. I'm going to click on zoom, which just pops it out. So when you're looking for a mode in a bar plot, really straightforward, right? Which bar is the tallest? That's all you need to know. Okay. I see this one here, 82. That's the tallest. Thus, it is the mode. Okay, that's it. Not a lot to it. It's not very tricky. Okay. Next, let's look at the median. So you have heard of the median before in your life, I'm sure, right? It's the value right in the middle. So the 50th percentile. It's good to use, right, when we have really skewed data. So data that is sort of lumped, really low values or really high values, which we'll see in a minute, but where it's sort of the average is not great to look at. So that's why with a lot of economic statistics such as housing prices or salaries, people talk about the median instead of the mean or the average. All right, so we can use the median if we have a ordinal, interval, or ratio level variable. I should say, sorry, let me come back to it. For the mode, we can use a mode for any variable that we have, because we can look at it for any level of measurement. Okay, so if we want to use the freq, such a weird name for a function. I mean, it makes sense, but just saying it out loud sounds so weird. We can use the freq function, but what we want to do is we want to get the cumulative percentage, and the cumulative percentage, just the percentages added up as, via the order of the categories. So what we're going to do is we're going to do freq, and then we're going to use this function ordered. And then we specify the variable. So LE, $ female, rounded. Okay, and then let's say we don't want the plot. All right. Is that good? Yeah, looks good. And so order just literally orders the values. We'll use it later on to specify an ordered outcome variable. All right, so let's highlight that and run that. Okay, so we see here we have frequency, percentage, and then cumulative percentage. And so what we're looking for is the category which the 50th percentile lies. So this sometimes trips people up. The first category, 78, has 3%. 78 and plus 79 is 15. 78 plus 79 plus 80 is 34. And then those three plus 81 gets up to 53. So we know that the 50th value lies in 81. If we don't want to use that, totally fine. What we can do instead is use the function median. So median rounded, and that will also tell you, or tell us, it's 81. Okay, so again, pretty straightforward. You're probably familiar with this. All right, so that's it for the median. Now let's look at the mean. Again, the mean is the average. You have no doubt know what the mean is. Right? You have seen it before in your life. Okay. Let's see here. What do we want to do? You know, we could do this by hand, but it's terrible. We do the median by hand, and I include some of it, that's also terrible. Let's just use the function mean, and we're just doing it for female life expectancy. So let's highlight that, see what the mean is. All right, so it's 0.1875. So here the median and mean are really close, really close. So as I already alluded to, if you have skewed data, a lot of times we want to use the median instead of the mean. But if the data is not that skewed, we can use the mean. It just depends on what you want to talk about and like what is your goal with talking about the data. Okay. Another thing that I want to show in this video is looking at using some tidyverse functions to look at descriptive statistics. So usually we can get away, but usually we can just use these really simple ones. But there are times, for instance, that like we want to see not just like the mean overall, but mean for certain groups. So we can do it in base R. We don't need to use tidyverse, but tidyverse kind of makes this a nice, well, I think it's a nice way to put this together. All right, so for this, what we're going to do is we're going to read in the VF England, our good friend VF England here. We're going to read in this data set, just because the life expectancy one, there's not a lot there to play around with. The VF England is a CSV file, so we're going to do read underscore CSV. So we have, and then quote the name of the file, which is vfengland.csv. Yay! All right, so it is read in, just to remind ourselves what it looks like. Okay. Yep, looks like it did before. There's no changes. Okay. Let's do this now. So we are going to look at the average age of leave and remain voters. Okay. So how we're going to do this? We're going to do VF England, and then use piping. We're going to filter out, because one of the things I didn't mention is when you use the mean function, you can't have missing values. If you have missing values, you have to specify to ignore them. All right, you'll get a weird error otherwise. So we're going to filter. So is not NA for exit vote. Actually, we don't need that for the mean because we're not looking at the average Brexit vote, because Brexit vote is a nominal level variable, so we can't look at the mean for nominal level variable. We can only look at the mean for interval or ratio, or what I call high ordinal, which is like 7 categories or more. Some people will use less. If you're a purist, then you cannot use any ordinal level variable for the mean, but you know what? People do. Okay, so filter, and then we're going to use this function we haven't seen before called group by. It's part of dplyr. And so what this does is that it groups the data by values in a variable or multiple variables. So basically, it groups them together in certain ways. So we're going to group by Brexit vote. Okay, see, I talked about this in a previous video. Oh, it went away. That little X red thing gets distracting sometimes. Right, see? It's because there's the piping here and there's nothing underneath. So it's like, yo, what's going on? All right. Next, we're going to use a function called summarise. And this just, you could do a bunch of different things with it. We're going to use it to summarize the mean of age. Okay, let's see. Are we going to get rid of this? Actually, this should be fine. Let's see what happens. If it blows up, it blows up. Go away, X. Why are you angry? Unexpected end. No? Okay. Did I mess up? Let's see. It shouldn't be there. I don't see any errors. Yeah, okay. Why? Go away. I went away now. Okay, so we see this output now. So what it created was, we have a Brexit vote. So it shows us that Remain voters, their average age was 47.7. And then Leave voters, their average age was 55.9. So, right, if we're rounding, we'd say like, so the average age of Remain voters is 48 years old. The average age of Leave voters was 56. So there definitely seems like there's an age effect. I mean, we're not doing real analysis here, but it'd be something to look into because we see this difference in age. Okay. So one last thing is, depending on what we're doing, we can save this as a data frame or as a tibble, whatever, just by creating it as an object. All right. So like, all I did is save it, put a name, use the assignment operator. Let's do that. And then if we come up here, we see it says df, 2 observations, 2 variables. Let's click on this. All right. And we see it's just a really simple, this table here. So we can get the output if we want it. Sometimes, it depends on what you're doing, but you might want it like that. Okay, so that is it for this video. We just quickly looked at the mode, median, and mean. All right, so thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.